In the Tao of Pooh, Benjamin Hoff writes, "I never even heard of the uncarved block," said Piglet. "Neither did I," said Pooh, rubbing his ear. "It's just a figure of speech," I said. "A what? Of who?" asked Pooh. "A figure of speech. It means that, well, the uncarved block is a way of saying, like Pooh." "Oh, is that all?" said Piglet. "I wondered," said Pooh. "Pooh can't describe the uncarved block to us in words. He just is it. That's the nature of the uncarved block." For a little bit of context here, preceding this brief dialogue is a description of the uncarved block, of this simple nature, this thing that exists untouched and unscathed by outside forces, much like you have a block of wood and it is not chopped up, it is not carved upon, it is suffering none of those things. It remains simple and intact and just one unto itself. And this is how the author is describing Pooh, as being this. However, the most accurate way that the uncarved block can be described is to observe and to understand by seeing and by experiencing what Pooh is and how he does things. You can't ascribe words to make sense of the nature of something. There is something that we've talked about previously, that is, words are a symbol of a real thing. In other words, wood isn't the word wood. Wood is this. That is wood. But there's not a word to say it. A word can make us think, oh, I should put an image of wood in my head when I hear the word wood. But it is not actually wood. I think Alan Watts once said, you can't get wet from the word water. That's another way of saying you can't have the experience just from the words alone. And this is a reminder that living the way that you want the world to be, you being that uncarved block, being unpersuaded by the societal norms of the day, whether you agree with them or not, maintaining your centeredness on your nature and your truth and your way of being is far more important than any accolades or, I guess, repudiation that you may receive from society if you act in accordance to your nature. Any of those things are just symbols of what is meant by living the true, untainted life of the uncarved block. And if you want to do that, you can't talk about it, you can't write about it, you can't persuade others to do it verbally. You need to just do it and let others, through their experience with you and through observing you, say, oh, I think that's probably a better way to be, a better way to live, a better way to relate to the world. Doing, being, and experiencing are the real thing. Words and edicts are symbols alone, and they cannot actually accurately represent the thing that they are trying to describe.